Start with Brian Samelo from the Sun Times. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Frank. Just a couple things to start. First, how's Fabian Herber's coming along after the hamstring issue we had in the previous match?
Hey, Brian, how are you? Yeah, I mean, I think with Fabi, it's day to day. I think he was able to do some things today in training, a little bit more than the warm up. But I think his situation is still day to day. I think we pushed him a little bit today, and then it's just we have to see how he reacts to that tomorrow. So I would still feel with him it's a question mark for this weekend.
Okay. And then just another topic, Stanislav Ivanov, of course, missed the first half of the season with a knee injury. Hasn't started in a little while and hasn't gotten a ton of minutes. Why hasn't he played? Is there a health issue or is there something else going on?
No. There's nothing going on, Brian. I think that, you said it. I think when he missed a big part of the season, and a lot of it was in the beginning in preseason, which for me, the preseason is a big key to guys as far as getting strong and a good base of fitness that carries you throughout the year. I think he missed a lot of time. Then it's been, it's finding his rhythm, finding minutes for him to play and gets his sharpness. So he hasn't been easy. When you're out 3 or 4 months, it takes some time. But look, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him now towards the end again starts, because I think at the end of the day, it's not giving him starts because we have to give him starts. He has to earn that. And he's been training really well and looking sharp in training. So I think a big part of it it was just the time that he was off and he missed. And it's not so easy to get that sharpness back without games.
Next, we'll go to Pat McCraney from SB Nation. Go ahead, Pat.
Hey, Frank, how are you?
Good, Pat.
Wondering, obviously you want to win games, but what other goals do you have for these last few games of the season? What are you hoping to accomplish?
No, I mean, I talked about it, I think after the Toronto match. I think it's important that, look, these guys are professionals. I think we have to do our job and try to be competitive all the way to the end. And yeah, every game we go into it with the belief and the confidence to get 3 points. So that's never going to change, the way I think and the way the players think and the way we approach every game and what we do in training. The standards are very high and the players know that, and the expectations are high all the way to the end, and it should be no other way. But also, like I said, be competitive, but also I'm looking also at the club and the future of the club, and I have to see, and how is this club going to move forward, and who are the players that are important as a club moves forward. And if I had to give those guys minutes to play, then I will do so. But it's the main and most important thing is to win games and be competitive to the end. But having said that, I'm also thinking about the future of the club also.
And next, we'll go to Jeremy McCullough from the Tribune.
Hi, Frank. Thank you for your time, as always. You talked about, future of the club and everything. Recently, the team just signed Misael Rodriguez from the academy, and then just sort of some of the homegrowns that have come in this season. Are you looking at the last 5-6 games of the season as a good opportunity for these guys to not only get minutes, but get minutes on the road?
No, like I said, we're going to try to put the best team on the field to play. That's going to give us an opportunity to win games. And I think the homegrown players, if you've seen Guti, you've seen Slonina. I mean, Javi Casas has, he played some minutes in that game in DC. He hasn't gotten maybe more opportunities, but they have to earn that. Regardless, for me, age really doesn't matter if the kid is 17 or 18. It's regardless. If the kid has quality and deserves to be on the field, he's going to be on the field. And I think still with the homegrown players, they have to earn that right by the way they train every day and the way they compete. I think that's where we make decisions as coaches. So that's not going to change, and they know that going into it from the beginning. Having said that, some of the homegrown players like Guti and Slonina and Javi and even Monas right now, they're really pushing hard and looking good in training.
Let's go back to Pat McCraney. Pat?
Speaking of Guti, how's that foot ankle thing that he was dealing with? How's he coming along with that?
Yeah, much better. I think he's been pushing every day. And like I said, I think the last couple of days he's looked really sharp. And it was good. It's been good to see him playing with confidence and stuff like that. He's a player that has a lot of quality, especially in the final third. He's got big potential, and it's good to see him healthy and being aggressive out there in training today. And so the last couple of days, he's really just seems like he's maybe the foot thing is slowly behind him. I'm not saying that he's 100%, but he's feeling much better, and I think he's had some really couple of good days of training. So, but the rest of the team, I think the mentality of the team has really been good and sharp. Leading up the last couple of training sessions, the whole week, even the last week, and as we approach this game.
We'll take one more. Let's go back to Jeremy. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Sorry about that. Needed to unmute. Frank, looking ahead to next season too, how are you as a coach kind of approaching these games, knowing you said, one eye on the future and then one eye kind of in the last few games? There's a lot of players coming up with contract options. So how are you kind of approaching it and talking to those guys saying, this is kind of your last few games here to really make an impact?
Yeah, no, but I think what I've said to the team. I mean, that's those decisions. I think that, I think those talks are going to take place with other people. What I've told the players is how important finishing the season strong is, because you really can change, the perception of someone. Sometimes really people don't forget that, really don't, what happened in the beginning of the season. When you go back, when you look at the first game that we played against New England at home, we had the 2-0, we had a great start at home, and, and then we gave up two goals, and there were so many missed opportunities in moments where we could have gotten 3 points. But and like I said to the players, no one sometimes really remembers that far back, but they do remember how you finished the season. And it's an opportunity for all of us to finish strong, whether their future might be here with the team. I think they continue to show the good mentality and good work ethic and fight in every game that they step in. But even if it's not here, there are other teams that are looking. There are other people that will call to try to get information on players, and you want to leave on a positive note, and you want to be a guy that you've left everything on the field with a good mentality and good character. And I feel that's the kind of guys that we have here. So that's what I've said to the players. We don't know what's going to happen. I think those decisions will be made pretty soon. But regardless, I think that just have to stay focused, be professionals, and really put their best foot forward till the end of the season.
I lied. We'll actually take one more question. Let's go back to Brian Sandel, who just raised his hand.
Sure.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah, I got a real tough one for you, Frank. Bears or Packers? What's your final?
I mean, that's an easy one. Bears or Packers? I don't know. I take the Bears, but I don't know what the final. You'd be crazy to take the Packers if you're a Chicago guy. I'm all for any Chicago team. I'll tell you that. So the Bears all the way.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. We'll end on that note. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate with Brian Sandalope from the Sun-Times. Go ahead, Brian.
Sure. Hey, Alvaro, thanks for making some time for us today. Good to talk to you. Just personally for you, what's your mindset heading into the final 5 games of the season when the playoffs aren't going to happen for this team?
Bueno, hola a todos. Elizabeth, traduce cuando puedas. Bueno, un gusto estar aquí otra vez delante de todos y bueno, escuchar. Y nada, como dice, a la respuesta, como dice Frank, hay que intentar hacerlo lo mejor posible, terminar bien la temporada porque nunca sabes lo que el futuro puede venir. Entonces es importante que en la mente de todos esté, o en los ojos de todos estén que Álvaro, que el equipo han hecho las cosas bien y nada, intentar darlo todo hasta el final y luego ya pues el futuro sea cual sea.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. And as Frank said, we have to do our best and finish as the best we possibly can. We have to finish the season on a good note and keep going hard because you never know in football. You want to be known or you want to be seen to finish out the season strong, and so that everyone sees that Alvaro and that the team did a good job and fought until the end. So we have to keep going hard up until the end, and the future will be what it is.
Pat McCraney.
Alvaro, good to talk to you. Do you think that you'll be back in Chicago next season?
Esa es una pregunta para George. Como él sabe lo que yo quiero y bueno, quiero recalcar aquí que nunca dije que quería volver a España y es una cosa entre George y yo y él lo sabe. Él dirá al final de temporada.
That's a question for George. He knows what I want. And I do want to reiterate here that I never said that I wanted to go back to Spain. But that's something between George and I. He's the one who makes the choices and he's the one that'll say it in the end.
Jeremy?
Alvaro, I was going to ask what Pat asked, but if this is your last season here in Chicago, or how would you assess your time in Major League Soccer? Was it what you thought it would be, harder than you expected, or how would you assess MLS the last 2 years?
Bueno, sé que es una liga competitiva. Sinceramente, bueno, podía haberlo hecho mejor. Obviamente, todo el mundo, desde el primer persona del club hasta el último, todos podemos hacerlo mejor y es lo que tenemos que hacer. Espero que el club aprenda de lo que se ha hecho mal y a partir de ahí empezar a hacer las cosas bien para que este club consiga mucho éxito, que es lo que uno merece. Y bueno, tanto, como he dicho, todo el mundo tiene que mirarse a sí mismo y ver qué ha fallado y qué puede hacer mejor y a partir de ahí, pues, pero sí, bueno, creo que durante momentos estuve bien, algunos partidos tampoco estuve lo mejor que pude y bueno, aprendo de ello y sigo para adelante, pero bueno, espero que para seguir para la siguiente temporada seguir dando el nivel y bueno, poder conseguir lo que yo por fin quiero.
I know that it's a very competitive league. Sincerely, I can say that I could have done better. I think everyone, from every person from the bottom to the very top, could say we probably could have done things better. And I hope that the club is able to reflect and learn from the things that have happened over the last couple of years and any mistakes that were made, and be able to learn from that and continue to improve and give the club what it deserves. But I know that if we reflect and look at ourselves, I could have done things better, and there were moments where I didn't maybe have my best games, but it's something that I look back on and I reflect and I learn from it. And so I can continue to improve and go ahead, and hopefully the next season I will be at a different, better level and obtain what I want.
All right, we'll go next to Brian Sandalo, and then we'll go back to Pat McCraney. Go ahead, Brian. Brian, are you there?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Alvaro, where do you think this team needs to improve for next season?
Muchas cosas. Para mí, principalmente necesitamos ambición de querer ganar, exigencia, compromiso, calidad, muchas cosas dentro de un vestuario que lamentablemente no hay. Son muchas cosas que tienen que cambiar desde arriba hasta abajo y a partir de ahí pues se conseguirán los éxitos, pero como te he dicho, son muchas cosas las que hay que cambiar y espero que en este tiempo de off-season se puedan cambiar.
Many things. And for me, in my opinion, there are many things that need to be changed. We need ambition to try to win games. We need to demand more from ourselves, commitment, quality, a lot of things inside a locker room that need to change that maybe there aren't right now. There are things that need to change from the top to the bottom. But I'm confident, and I think that hopefully in the off season things can change so that this club can continue to move forward.
Go ahead, Pat.
Alvaro, I noticed your English is getting very, very good. You're understanding all of our questions. What are you expecting from the game this weekend? Obviously, a away game at a very, very good opponent. Tell me what you're expecting.
Yeah. Bueno, esperemos va a ser un partido complicado. Sabemos que, bueno, ellos están clasificados para playoff y ya quedan como primeros. Y bueno, no sé cómo van a venir, si van a jugar con reservas, con no reservas, pero pues bueno, nosotros con lo que ha dicho Frank, con la idea de terminar bien, que cada uno intente hacer lo mejor que pueda, vamos a ir ahí a ganar. Y bueno, yo creo que va a ser un partido competido. Los dos partidos que hemos jugado contra ellos hemos tenido nuestras opciones de ganar, empatamos y perdimos, pero siempre estuvimos con opciones de ganar y bueno, esperemos dar lo mejor de nosotros mismos, trabajar juntos como equipo y a partir de ahí pues aprovechar las ocasiones que tengamos.
It's going to be a difficult game. We know that they already qualified and they're in first place and everything. So we don't really know how they're going to go out, if they're going to come out with the reserves. But as Frank said, we're going to go out there and we're going to do our best to try to win the game. We're finishing out the season strong. So we're going to go out there, or we're going out there with the intent of winning. We've always gone out there in previous games with the intent of winning. We tied and we lost one, but we always gave the best of ourselves and we went out there trying to win the game. So for this game, it's going to be hard, it's going to be complicated, but we are going to give the best of ourselves. We're going to work together as a team and hopefully we can take advantage of any chances that we have.
Brian, did you have one more? I see your hand still up.
Do. Yeah, Alvaro, to go back to my question just previously, when did you realize this team lacked some of those ingredients? And just how hard or easy is that to get in one off season? Those are some pretty big things that this team's missing. How does a team go about adding those?
Elizabeth, no escuché bien la pregunta. ¿Me puedes traducir, por favor?
Sí. ¿Cuándo te diste cuenta que al equipo le falta esos ingredientes? Y, o sea, los que habías mencionado previamente en el vestuario. ¿Y cómo crees que se pueden conseguir en una temporada, o sea, un off-season? Porque son ingredientes muy grandes, son muchas cosas que hacen falta.
Bueno, es fácil de decir. Cuando tú miras la plantilla del año pasado y cuando miras la plantilla de este año es prácticamente la misma. Entonces, es complicado que las cosas cambien de un año para otro cuando los jugadores seguimos siendo los mismos. La mentalidad de cada jugador sigue siendo la misma y no hay cambio. Entonces, era fácil de prever lo que podía pasar. Bueno, como he dicho antes, pero que en este tiempo nos demos cuenta de nuestros errores y a partir de ahí, pues seguir avanzando. Para ser un equipo ganador hay que, como he dicho, tener mentalidad de ganar, ambición de ganar, compromiso de querer ganar y a partir de ahí trabajar. Pero sí, también se necesita calidad para todo ello.
Well, and looking from here, it's easy to say because if you look at the team from last year and the team from this year, it's practically the same. So we have practically the same players and it's the same mindset. So that makes it difficult for things to change from one season to another. Because it's the same players and we have the same mentality. So in order to be able to improve, you really need a winning mentality. And hopefully we can all look at ourselves and reflect on ourselves and see what we did and how we can improve, so that we can keep going forward, so that this club can keep moving forward. Because if you're going to win, if you want to be a winning team, you have to have the winning mentality, you have to have a commitment to winning, and you need to work accordingly so that you can improve. And you also need a good quality as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Alvaro. Appreciate your time this afternoon. Thanks to everyone for joining the call.